Hello everyone, my name is Kishan Mahmood. Today we are going to talk about BioActive LiquiLife Plus and LiquiLife.
And I'm Steve Stumbers with Purple Cow. So when you think about it, 95% of the functions that farmers rely on for their success are biological functions. You begin to appreciate why so many growers choose to dedicate a portion of their fertility budget to biology. To help ensure the return on your biological investment is significant, you should always consider these two key questions. The three pillars of productive soil, physical, chemical, and biological, really boil down to carbon, minerals, and biology. The physical properties of the soil are largely about carbon. Humics are large carbon molecules providing structure, porosity, and a good home for biology. Fulvics are smaller particles, often associated with long-term food for biology. Molasses and sugars, these are examples of carbon that are immediate stimulants, short-term food for biology. Chemical refers to the mineral or the fertility portion of the equation. Minerals can come from the soil, they come from residue, from manures, or from applied inputs. But if you want biology to bring minerals to the plant, minerals must be present. Biology is the third part of the equation. The system works when we attach every mineral molecule to a carbon particle and drive the exchange with biology. Biology digests and size reduces carbon, even carbon in a liquid form, so the carbon can become the building block of virtually everything. Biology solubilizes minerals because plants can't take up minerals in their dry form. Biology metabolizes minerals into forms plants need in order to thrive. Whether it's in your soil or your fertility mix, always consider minerals, carbon, and biology. Once you've made the decision to invest in biology, the clear advantage comes with more species performing more functions.
Now let's talk about categories of biologicals on the market today. When we think about biologicals, what comes to our mind first? A molasses, a sugar, some bacterial and fungal species. There is a lot of confusions out there, which are actually biologicals, which are alive bacteria and fungi. Let's walk through them first. Byproducts of biology. What are those? Enzymes, amino acids, auxins, gibberellins, and other plant growth regulator or biostimulants are byproducts of biology. They are not essentially actual biology, actual bacteria, nor a fungal species, but rather they are the byproduct that biology creates. On the second category, we have food for biology. Those are your simple sugars, fulvic acids, humic acids, carbon, molasses, and other biostimulants. Again, they are not actual bacteria or fungal species. Rather, they are the food for those bacteria and fungi. Our third category is limited species biological. Now we are talking about actual biology, which are alive. Those can be either bacteria, a few different species of bacteria or different strains of bacteria, or fungal species. We often come across them, for example, nitrogen-fixing bacteria or nitrogen-fixing archaea. The final category is broad-spectrum biological. That is where BioActive LiquiLife and LiquiLife Plus stands. It is a consortia of 4,000 plus bacteria and fungal species coexisting together at a dormant stage.
What makes our products unique is the diversity and balanced ratio of fungi to bacteria. Pathogen-free means you can spray it today and eat your food crops tomorrow. It ships in totes, tankers, and has a shelf life of a full year. More species, more functions. That's what's illustrated in this chart. Fix, cycle, exchange, solubilize, metabolize, digest residue, suppress pathogens. One product to perform all these tasks. While 5% nitrogen fixers may not seem like a lot, that's over 200 species fixing nitrogen from the atmosphere. Compare that to other products on the market that contain 2 or 3 microbial species. The definition of a mycorrhizal fungi is a species of fungi that can work with the plant's root systems. With some 2,000 fungal species, it's almost without fail the mycorrhizal fungi you see in other limited species products are in LiquiLife and LiquiLife Plus. With so many interactions provided, it's not uncommon for growers to see system improvements in areas they did not expect. Quotes like, "I bought LiquiLife as a starter, and now I just don't have white mold issues anymore," are not uncommon.
The networks of relationships. When we talk about the networks of relationships among the bacteria and fungi in LiquiLife and LiquiLife Plus, we are talking about two key relationships, primarily cross-feeding and secondarily quorum sensing, which brings functional redundancy among the LiquiLife and LiquiLife Plus. Let's talk about cross-feeding. When you add a carbon food source to the LiquiLife and LiquiLife Plus, the thousands of bacterial and fungal species starts interacting with each other. When they interact, they create numerous byproducts. These byproducts are enzymes, volatile organic compounds, sugars, different kinds of organic acids such as malic acid, citric acid, oxalic acid, etc. These byproducts are then being fed to the next group of microorganisms, which helps them to start the interaction. And this process goes on and on and on, where it is a constant cycle of feeding and consuming among the microorganisms, feeding off of each other. This is what you see in nature. This is what you see in a natural ecosystem. Now let's think of a different scenario. You added a carbon-based food source to your microbial consortium. When you add a food source, the microbes start interacting. As we know, when they interact, they create byproducts. These byproducts should be fed to the next group of microorganisms as food. However, if you take one microbe out of this scenario, do you think that interaction will happen? I would say no. If there is no interaction, then there is no resultant byproduct. If there is no resultant byproduct, the next group of microorganisms cannot feed on them. And this is where you see a breakdown of the network. When this network suffers from a breakdown, the microbes cannot thrive, and ultimately the plants cannot thrive. The plants cannot get all the nutrients they need.
The next relationship is quorum sensing. We recognize the word quorum as a minimum number of people required to accomplish a task. Quorum sensing in the soil is similar. Plants send stress signals that bacteria can pick up. These bacteria respond with their own signals called autoinducers to invite the other necessary microbes to perform the support functions the plants require. These bacteria frequently use the fungal highway to get where they need to be in order to provide the nutrients and stress relief for the plants.
Redundancy can have a negative connotation, but nature thrives on redundancy. One thing we know that every year brings new environmental stresses. Stress from drought, stress from salt, stress from low temperatures, high temperatures, stress from locking of nutrients in the soil. But redundancy provides the resiliency to withstand stress. Let's look at the limited species environment on the right. When stress occurs, hindering the bacteria depicted in red, you have very few microbial species left to carry on the necessary functions. Now, compare this to the diverse environment on the left, where the elimination of that same red bacteria still leaves numerous species to carry out the work needed. More species means greater resiliency and a better chance your system will thrive.
Here are the best times and tips on using our broad spectrum product in your fertility program. The application rates are listed as well. Because LiquiLife and LiquiLife Plus have so many different species doing so many different functions, it's best to split applications throughout the year. For example, LiquiLife Plus has an application rate of 3 gallons per acre per year. It's best if you apply 1 gallon at or near planting, another gallon as an early foliar, and a third gallon later in the growing season. If a grower is only going to make 2 passes, use 1.5 gallons each time. And if the grower is only going to make 1 pass, then a full 2.5 to 3 gallons should be used at that time. Here are some additional application tips. Remember, because our products come to the farm in the dormant state, including a food source in the mix is important. I can read it. The page you see here on the right covers most of what we've reviewed today. Please reach out if you would like this information in a PDF file. Thanks for joining us today. Please know we are here to serve you and your farm customers, and we invite you to reach out anytime. Thanks for listening.